Hello, this is James from the future upcoming DTJCast, a project I will have coming later on down the line with my best friend, the other James. That's the Double Talkin James cast, DTJCast. This here is kind of a little prequel, spoiler episode, not a pilot exactly, because we're not there yet, but just to kind of introduce myself a little bit more here. I'm a local musician, entertainer, DJ, whatever terms you'd like to use, podcast enthusiast. We are out of St. Louis, Missouri. Love music, guitars, history, science, philosophy, sci-fi, conspiracies, podcasts, as I mentioned, classic wrestling, traveling, dogs, food, a bunch of other cool stuff, hopefully stuff you're into as well, and if so, you'll probably like where we'll be going later on down the road. This, my story is pretty much similar to a lot of yours, I would think. I was born back in old 82, to a working class family, coming up during the end of the Cold War. Some of you may not even know what that is. You might have to go back and read about that, but very interesting times. Lots of failures, successes, lessons learned shaped my current self. Definitely, like I said, a product of the 80s, early 90s. MTV, Saturday cartoons, Reagan, Three Stooges, riding in the back of the truck to go camping, Nintendo, MC Hammer Pants, Ninja Turtles, Star Trek, Next Generation, riding bike all over Florissant and Hazelwood. All that good stuff, kind of riding out the last crestfall of the classic American dream, if you will. That is a story for a whole nother episode, though. One we'll get to later on. It all leads up to the here and now anyway. What I'd like to have happen here is just talk about, cool stuff. Like we said, music, guitars, entertainment, all that good stuff. History, science, conspiracies, good old classic wrestling, movies, anything you guys might be into. Let's talk about it. One thing I will get into a little more detail today is something I'm sure you've heard me bring up many, many times if you follow me, is NoCo Incidents. That's my main project right now, cover tribute act. We do everything from like the 60s to today, so we're a very diverse group, if you will. I'll run over some shows we do have coming up here if you're interested. The next one coming up here in a couple weeks, Charlotte Pub. That's an awesome, kind of legendary place if you're from North County. A lot of badass guitarists and musicians have come out of there. It's just a cool little music club. You won't find a lot of places like that left up here in North County. Good people up there. Big shout out to Charlotte Judy for letting us come in there. That's March 22nd, a Friday show. After that, April 13th, we'll be back in Central Illinois, Litchfield, a little bit outside of Springfield, at Chaps, right off 55 there. We always love it out there. Illinois is great. Great dancers, great fans. Kind of go a little later out there in Illinois. It's like the 2 a.m., 3 a.m. bars. It kind of gets a little wilder the later you go with that. But Chaps, we love you out there. This will be like our third or fourth show out there in like 6 months. And man, that crowd is great. We're taking all requests, learning stuff they want us to know. Doing stuff like Uptown Funk and dance music I never thought I'd play, because I'm a classic rock, Pearl Jam. That's how I learned to play guitar, was just learning Pearl Jam songs. So to go from there to doing some funk and dance, which actually has opened me up. I really do love funk. That's an area of guitar I'm going to get a lot more into. You wouldn't think about it, but there's quite a bit of soul and expression in funk guitar. When you think of, guitar and expression, everyone immediately thinks of solos, rightfully so. Like those two, attempt to do those. But dig into some funk and you just kind of skank it up, get people moving and dancing, and you're almost kind of like a drummer or a DJ on your guitar. It's interesting. But yeah, Chaps, we're going to have you dancing. May 10th, we have a TBA event. We'll have more info on that. June 8th as well. Some spring, early summer dates. We'll get more info out on that. June 15th, we are doing our first winery show. That's going to be awesome. I saw a couple shows out at wineries last year. I saw a Beatles, Ticket to the Beatles, I think was their name. They were quite good. And that's just fun. It's just good daytime. You get a little daytime drink going and a lot of dancing at that. So we're looking forward to that Cottleville Wine Cellar. That's a great location. A lot of family, a lot of friends out there. Food Truck Fest, July 24th. That's also Eric, who I'll tell you a little bit about more in a minute here. That'll be our singer-guitarist's birthday. And also my family food truck, Savor the Southwest, will be out there as well. I do work with them on the side a little bit. That's food truck within the family. It's Tex-Mex stuff, amazing. Get you a quesadilla burger if you ever have a chance. That's out in Creve Coeur Park. That's like one of the biggest park events St. Louis County Park does. We are so honored to be able to do that. We are going to bring the thunder that day. It's a daytime 2-hour kind of gig, so that's going to be interesting. We're normally a night band. Same thing with the winery stuff. It's going to be kind of a different atmosphere for us, but I'm kind of looking forward to how that turns out. To kind of get thrown out of your element a little bit, see how you react. It makes things more exciting. It might actually get a better performance out of you, if you will. August 17th, that's a TBA event. More info coming on that. And then September 21st, we'll back out at the wine cellar again. So yeah, we'll be busy this year. I'm sure we'll get some more Halloween and Christmas stuff going. If you followed us last year, we threw an awesome Halloween gig, did some Halloween songs, like 4 or 5 Halloween, Ghostbusters, the theme from 28 Days, the theme from Halloween. We kind of mixed that all in there. That was out in Granite City. We did that, and then actually out at Chaps, we did a few Christmas songs. So we are a band that gets into the holiday thing too. We love celebrating. We're a celebratory band. We're all about fun and excitement, having a good time. As far as the band itself, I hope to get them on this here show in the future. As I mentioned, Eric, he's our singer guitarist. We do have 2 co-lead singers. Eric, he is originally from Jersey, so he kind of brings that East Coast, rock. Bruce, it's like having a Bruce Springsteen in a band a little bit, but he brought an element that helps us out quite a bit, I think. Dennis is our other co-lead singer. He's in charge of all the keys, saxophone. He does a little bit of percussion too. Sings lead, sings backup. He actually is running our sound. Running our lights too. He's kind of the MVP of the band, actually. If I had to pick one, I would definitely say it's him. We got Reese on the drums and the percussion. He is a Remnant from Fight for Midnight, that was my first original band I was in with Dennis. So yeah, I am not an original Fight for Midnighter, but he is. Him and Dennis are. So I kind of joined up with that project later. But what can you say about Reese, man? He's just killing it out there on the skins. He's got that cool graphic going on his kick drum now. Jason on bass. He's probably the best guitarist in the band. But fortunately for me and Eric, he sticks with the bass for us. He's like a classically trained jazz guitarist, musician. Goes out of the country to do gigs. Yeah, we're very blessed to have him in the band. And then, yeah, we got me. I'm sure you know plenty about me already. So that's NoCo Incidents. Like I said, we're going to get them on in the future, learn more about them. Maybe one at a time or kind of a group thing. That would be very cool. One thing I did want to get into news-wise, Aaron Lewis, our friend from Stained, is back in the news. Had another, I don't know what you'd call it, tangent outburst at a one of those intimate acoustic shows. Didn't react as classy as he probably would if he had that opportunity again. He is not a stranger to this. There's a great video on Loudwire, if you follow them on YouTube or Facebook. 15 crazy fan interactions with Aaron Lewis. And you know, some of these, in my opinion, are justified. The one yesterday, throwing your beer into the crowd, that you can't do that. You know, that's just unacceptable. Not cool. Not cool, man. You can't do that. But, you know, I've seen ones where females were getting groped out in the audience and he stopped mid-song. Most of these are at these intimate acoustic deals where, yeah, it's like, I don't know, you get a crowd of like kind of wild, alcohol-fueled, basically people that think they have the right to like interact and be a part of the show, which buying a ticket does not, unfortunately, for them, give you that right. So yeah, I think alcohol also plays a huge role in that, and then just this attitude the last few years of, people just thinking that they're entitled to be an actual part of the show. I went to Neil Young last year. It was an acoustic, one of those really small mini tours. He went to like Boston, New York, here for some reason. I guess he likes it here. Thanks, Uncle Neil, for doing that. We love you here in St. Louis. But man, there was just a lot of like kind of screaming interaction from the audience, almost making it uncomfortable. Just requests and just, it's one thing if you're at like a festival or a huge, you know, heavy rock metal show going crazy, but like I said, these are like acoustic, intimate, very personal, not the place for catcalling song requests, in my opinion. You know, be like going to concert Sheldon Hall and, you know, screaming at the orchestra to play this. Anyway, yeah, he should probably learn to handle that stuff a little better, or just, I don't know how you get around that nowadays. You want a quiet, engaged audience, especially when you're doing that solo acoustic thing. I guess it's on you, the entertainer, to keep that crowd engaged, keep them into you. But man, when you have people that go to a thing knowing it's an acoustic solo show and just get wasted, and when it's not that big rock experience, it's not to their liking, they want to kind of take over the show, and that's not cool either. So yeah, but man, I could definitely see myself kind of getting mad and losing it a little bit too, because really all you want to do is give your fans, or anyone that pays that money to come see you, the best possible experience you can. And yeah, when you have just disruptions in the audience, it gets really ugly, leaves a bad mark on it, kind of ruins the whole musical experience. What do you think about that? I think a little bit of it is on him from the last one I saw. Like I said, if you watch that video of the 15 intense Aaron Lewis versus fan moments is actually the name of it. Some of them are justified, I guess, if that's the right word, and some of them are just, you gotta play on and just ignore it, you know? It's kind of like that deal where when you have the streaker run down Busch Stadium, they're not gonna show it on TV because that only encourages more of it. But yeah, so that's happening in the news again. You gotta keep your cool there, buddy. What's up with the Stained reunion anyway? I'm not a huge follower of them. I like some of their stuff. I like him. But I think he needs a band around him. It sounds like somebody needs a band. Because when it's all that focus is on him, and you're never gonna get a completely controlled, scientific atmosphere of it's, and again, I'm no expert. I play bar shows to maybe 100 people if we're lucky. The same rules still apply though. You got to keep your cool. We've had quite a few Spinal Tap moments. People come on stage, that's a whole nother episode. We'll get into that. Got to keep you listening and hanging. I guess that will kind of wrap it up today. Don't want to take too much of your time. Just kind of wanted to give you a little taste of what's to come. It is the DTJCast. I will be doing that with my best friend, the other James. We're going to get into anything you all want to hear. Our primary interests are philosophy, music, conspiracies, other podcasts, science, guitars, drums, anything in the entertainment industry you might like. We just kind of want to have an all-encompassing thing, but kind of take a more critical, intellectual approach to it. Everything you get a lot nowadays is very homogenized, very... there's an epidemic of access media. We could probably do a whole episode on that eventually. I just want like a cool, truthful, fair, critical for the average Joe, man, because that's what I am. I want to look at stuff like that. I don't want to look at stuff basically written by PR writers or by people that just want to necessarily contradict anything, I want to stay in the middle of it as much as I can, but I love all that stuff, as does my cohort, James. We're best friends. You'll hear much more of us later on down the road. I guess I'll sign off for now. Let me know what you think about the Aaron Lewis thing. Is he out of control getting there? This is like the 15th, 16th one on record now. Or is it just fans out of control pushing it? I think it's a little bit of both, honestly. And I'm going to take the musician side because I like to think of myself as one. Again, catch NoCo Incidents will be coming at you all over the St. Louis area. Next show at the legendary Charlac Pub, March 22nd, 9 p.m. The show starts. It's going to be 4 hours of we're going to bring our hardest, most rockin' stuff. It's a hard rock club. We'll probably leave more of the dance stuff at home, but hey, you never know. We'll throw some curveballs at you too. I will holler at you soon here with the DTJCast. Might have another kind of a prequel spoiler episode like this if you like. Let me know what you all want to hear. Until then, good luck.